Hello everyone, Colby here, and this is my review of the Redmi Note 10 Pro. And in this video, I'll be sharing with you guys an unboxing, my experience with this device, and lastly, leave my thoughts on the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Without wasting much of your time, let's get into the video. So out of the box, you get a user guide, a warranty card, a 33 watts fast charger, a USB Type-C cable, a transparent protective casing, and the device itself. Here we don't have any earbuds as usual from Xiaomi. The device also comes with a pre-installed screen protector for extra safety against scratches. Now moving over to the design, the Redmi Note 10 Pro has a really good design and solid build. Despite its huge battery, the device looks slim and narrow. It also feels very light, weighing 196 grams, and it is very comfortable to hold. The Redmi Note 10 Pro may look like it's made of glass and metal, but it isn't. The mid-frame is made of plastic, and the glass that covers the face of the phone has a Gorilla Glass 5 protection. The back is also made of curved glass, looks really polished, and the gloss finish makes it look more luxurious. Please note that the back is prone to fingerprints, so it's better you take advantage of the case they included. We also have a protruding camera bump, which houses the quad rear cameras that are identical to that of the Redmi Note 10. The Redmi Note 10 Pro has an IP53 rating, which means it is splash and dust resistant. What I have here is a gradient bronze, and it also comes in two additional colors, which is onyx grey and glacier blue. Moving to the external features, on the right side you find the volume keys and the power button, which also doubles as a fingerprint scanner. It works pretty well, feels responsive, and is positioned in the middle of the frame for easy unlocking. On the left side is where you find the dual nano SIM card tray and a memory card slot. Up top, there is a headphone jack, a speaker, an IR blaster, and a secondary microphone. Meanwhile, at the bottom, we have another speaker here, a USB Type-C port, and a main microphone. Moving over to the display, the Redmi Note 10 Pro has a 6.67-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED dot display with 10 bezels and a fast 120Hz refresh rate for a smoother screen experience. Most phones with 120Hz at this price range usually have LCD, but here the Redmi Note 10 Pro takes advantage of the AMOLED, which makes it really good for content consumption. The screen feels really fast and responsive because of the faster refresh rate and also the 240Hz touch sampling rate. It has a display density of 395 pixels per inch, and you can get up to 1200 nits of peak brightness, which makes it bright enough to be seen under sunlight. The colors look super accurate, and I like the deep contrast. You also have an option to set color scheme to saturated, standard, or leave it on auto. And with AMOLED display, Redmi Note 10 Pro comes with an always-on display with a couple of options to choose from. As for the audio, we get stereo speakers on the Redmi Note 10 Pro, one at the top and one at the bottom. They are loud, crisp, and well-balanced, and sounds okay for media consumption. This is how it should feel like when using the stereo speakers. At this point, if you're enjoying this video, kindly consider subscribing, as it goes a really long way to help this channel. For software and performance, the Redmi Note 10 Pro runs MIUI 12.0.3 on Android 11 out of the box. This is still the MIUI 12 interface that we've seen on Xiaomi's recent phones, and it also has the same features and visual changes. It comes with an app drawer and also has an option to disable if you don't need it. You get the option to choose light or dark mode, and also on MIUI 12, you get the always on display because the device has an AMOLED display as stated earlier on. Also on MIUI 12, you get a ton of pre-installed bloatware apps as usual from Xiaomi, which can be uninstalled easily. One thing you also notice on MIUI 12 is ads, especially when you open the stock MIUI apps, and also on the package installer whenever you install an APK. But I've made a video on how to remove ads on a Xiaomi phone. You can also check that out from the card above or the link in the description. Aside the ads and bloatware on this device, the experience is pretty fluid. The Redmi Note 10 Pro is powered by Snapdragon 732G chipset with Adreno 618 GPU. It also has two RAM and storage options such as 6 and 8 GB RAM, and for the storage you get 64 or 128 GB storage. The Snapdragon 732G isn't the highest performing chipset you can get on a mid-range device, but the performance is great for ordinary tasks like multitasking, watching videos, running social media and browsing. The device also runs games very well and can play graphic intensive games such as Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG and Genshin Impact as highest settings with minimum frame drops. For benchmarks on the Redmi Note 10 Pro, this is what we got for Antutu and this is the score we got for Geekbench 5. Moving over to the battery life, the Redmi Note 10 Pro has a large 50-20 mAh battery capacity with support for 33 watt fast charging. And for a full charge, it takes me about an hour and a half from 0 to 100. Battery life on the Redmi Note 10 Pro is pretty impressive here, and it can last me at least a full day of use for normal tasks even on 120Hz. Now let's talk about the camera. The Redmi Note 10 Pro has a quad camera setup on the rear, which includes a 108 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, a 5 megapixel macro, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. The front has a 16 megapixel selfie shooter, and we've got some camera samples here thanks to Frank from Cyber Reviews.
Hi guys, Cyber Reviews here, and I'm here to do the camera review of the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Now the selfie camera is pretty impressive in terms of dynamic range. Today is it's about 4 p.m. in Ghana and it's just about an hour from sunset. So I'm facing the sun directly, but you can see the blues in the sky and you can see the clouds as well. And my face is pretty well illuminated. But then what I observe is that my face is more reddish. So the colors are more saturated than normal, but then I don't see any kind of image smoothing or beauty mode in effect. And also we are testing kind of like how shaky the footage is when you are recording. Assuming that this was your main camera and you wanted to use it for vlogging and all that, this is the results you're going to get from the selfie camera. And so quickly we're also going to switch to the back camera and see the kind of results that you can get with the back cameras. Okay, so this is what the back cameras of the Redmi Note 10 Pro can shoot. When you look to the sky, you can see that dynamic range is pretty good. And as I'm working, how is the stabilization of the footage? It's pretty smooth, though this one doesn't have any optical image stabilization. It's just electronic image stabilization to kind of give you a very smooth footage. And the colors look pretty warm, pretty saturated as well, similar to what you get when you're recording with the selfie camera. And the good thing is you can actually record with the ultra wide and the telephoto like I mentioned earlier. And then it also has a lot of other recording options. So when you take portrait mode, you can see that the picture quality is pretty good. Edge detection is on point. And you also have dual video mode where you can actually record yourself. So you are using both the selfie and then the back cameras at the same time. And if you are like maybe attending an event and you want to cover the event and you want to show your face and all that, that's also pretty good. You can actually, change the orientation of the videos and all that. And I think it's a pretty neat feature that you have on the Redmi Note 10 Pro. And you can see the sun behind me and you can see both at the same time, like the quality of the videos at the same time, and it's a really fantastic implementation.
The rear camera takes really good photos with good dynamic range, and the depth of field works very well here when you have the subject close to the camera, even without portrait mode. The selfie camera also looks good and you can see some details in there. There are a lot of camera modes to choose from on the Redmi Note 10 Pro, which we'll talk about later. So overall, the Redmi Note 10 Pro is quite an impressive smartphone, and for such a reasonable pricing, you get some features such as 120Hz refresh rate, an AMOLED panel, stereo speakers, a decent camera, and also a decent chipset for better mid-range performance, not forgetting the great battery life too. I'm really impressed with the overall performance of the device and the build quality, and this device should be among the best value for money devices in 2021. The only negatives I'd like to talk about on the Redmi Note 10 Pro is optimization of the MIUI and a bit of heating when playing mobile games continuously, but we hope that subsequent updates will fix this issue. So that's it for my review of the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Let me know your thoughts about this device, and if you did enjoy watching this video, hit on the thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this in future. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.